So, Fergus being a bard also tells stories. So, we have a story for you. Wrote based on old ancient Irish.
It's a story about a harp.
And I will need your help. When I show you the sign, you do what it says.
I hope they can read.
I think this is a very intelligent audience. I'm
That
pretty
is
sure
true.
they
You guys did an excellent job with McIntyre.
Yes.
So, I'm placing my faith in you to be able to read. Our tale begins in the days of old, when the moon was silver and the sun was gold. In Ireland, the prettiest country of all, in the summer and the winter, the spring and the fall. The land was as pretty as it could be, with magic in every river and tree. In this land of great acclaim, Dagda was our hero's name.
Wow, this sounds like it's going to be an epic story.
It is. Now, Dagda was a great hero of the Tuatha De Danann.
The who?
The Tuatha De Danann.
Can I call them Toothies for short?
I think they might take offense to that. Let's call them the fair folk instead.
Ah, I can say that. Fair folk. That's
Now, the Tuatha the fair
fair folk.
were one of two kingdoms living in Ireland at the time. When the fair folk arrived in Ireland, they found the Fomorians already living there. The Fomorians were mean and greedy, and they were very cruel to the fair folk. So the fair folk decided to fight against the Fomorians to get rid of them.
Huzzah for the fair folk.
Now, Dagda had 3 magic items that were all very useful, but the most useful of them all was his harp.
Now, I know that a harp is very pretty to listen to, but how is it going to help in a fight?
Well, see, this one was special. Not only could Dagda play pretty music on it, but when he played music on it like this, his enemies would begin to laugh. In fact, they would laugh so hard they couldn't do anything else. And then he would play music on it like this. And his enemies would begin to cry. In fact, they would cry so hard they couldn't do anything else. And then he would play music on it like this. And his enemies would fall asleep. And when you're sleeping, you can't do anything else.
That's an amazing harp.
It sure is. He could even play music on it like this. And it would make sure that the seasons came in the right order.
You can sure use that. I hate it when winter comes after spring.
So when the fair folk fought against the Fomorians, Dagda would play his harp. He played it like this. And the Fomorians would begin to laugh. They would laugh so hard they couldn't do anything else. And then he would play it like this. And the Fomorians began to cry. They were crying so hard they couldn't do anything else. And then he played it like this. And the Fomorians fell asleep. And because they were sleeping, they couldn't do anything else.
So, did the fair folk win?
They sure did. But the Fomorians were very upset about being defeated this way.
Oh.
So they decided to steal Dagda's harp. They snuck into Dagda's house and crept away with the harp. But when they got home and they tried to play the harp, nobody could get it to make pretty music.
It's not working!
The harp refused to make pretty music for anyone but Dagda.
That's not fair!
Still, they were glad that he couldn't use it against them anymore. But as soon as Dagda realized that his harp was missing, he went looking all through the land. After a long time of searching, he came to the castle where the Fomorians were staying. He snuck in to see lots of Fomorians and his harp hanging on the wall on the other side of the room.
How many were there?
There were more than 10.
Okay. How many? Really? That's just 10?
In fact, there were more than 50.
Oh, that's a lie.
In fact, there were more than 100.
Ooh, how is he going to get past 100 men to get the harp?
He didn't have to. He simply held out his hand and called to his harp, and it flew across the room to him.
Dun, 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 dun! Super harp!
The Fomorians jumped up and grabbed their weapons and got ready to fight against him.
How will he survive?
But Dagda wasn't scared. He simply began to play his harp. He played it like this. And the Fomorians began to laugh. And then he played it like this. And the Fomorians began to cry. And then he played it like this. And the Fomorians fell asleep.
So now he can escape while they're sleeping.
He snuck away with his harp in his hand, and the fair folk ruled over all the land. Then one day, so the singers sing, Dagda became the fair folk's king. He drove their enemies all away. But that's a tale for another day. The end.